Hello, I'm Maxine Harley, your mind healer, helping you to become a better parent, a better partner and a better person by healing your own emotional wounds first. I'd like to share some of my thoughts with you about the types of parenting out there, what's good enough and what isn't. I see this as being on a spectrum based upon family history and the norms, and it's influenced by the state of the parent's emotional and psychological health. Remember, we pass on to our children what we've had as well as what we didn't have ourselves as children. At one end of the spectrum is the parenting that I call terrible and terrifying. This is where we see abuse, whether sexual, emotional and physical, and profound neglect. There's violence, perhaps even resulting in the death of the child, addiction, chaos, severe personality disorders, mental ill health, severe self-harm, multiple births, and hopefully social services department are involved in rescuing the child. The child fears for its very survival. Then we have the nowhere near good enough parents. These are the ones that play mind games, and there's parentification, and what that means is the child is like the parent's parent and the confidant. Or this cold, harsh parenting with strict discipline, lots of smacking and shouting, autocratic control, and inflexibility. The child's treated like an object. There's also some parents who are too loose. There's no proper boundaries or structure. Now, a lot of these families may not even be picked up by the social services department, and the child suffers in silence and hides away within themselves, or they act out to show their inner chaos and anger. The child feels used and confused. Then we have the not good enough parents. Now, these are the parents who may be well-meaning, but they're ignorant of what a child really does need. They may be too wrapped up in themselves to care what their child has. They may also provide material things, and as a grown-up, the person thinks that they had quite a good childhood. It wasn't that bad, it could have been worse. But when we dig a little deeper, we see there's a lack of emotional connection and nurture, which leaves that child with an empty space within themselves. Perhaps the parents were absent and the child was at boarding school. Maybe the parents' work or family commitments had to come first. Perhaps there were lots of other siblings and a special needs child. Perhaps the parents suffered from their own ill health and the child became their carer or substitute parent for their siblings. In this category, there's also the smother mother, who's too intrusive and doesn't allow her child any headspace or room to grow their own imagination or personality. Then there are the narcissistic parents who see the children as an extension of themselves, and those pushy parents who put their ego needs first and overlook the needs of the child. The child grows up feeling insignificant and has difficulty expressing their emotions and needs as an adult. Then we have the good enough parents, a phrase coined by Donald Winnicott many years ago. These are the parents that are doing their best. They make an occasional mistake, but they explain it and make it right with the child. And remember, our brain recalls regular events and the big traumas, so if we make the odd mistake, it's not going to have any permanent damage. These parents have a good emotional connection with their children. They put their child's needs first and make sure they have the energy and patience to give the child what they need. They model good relationship skills and how to handle emotions and conflict. The parents have good self-esteem and they pass this on to their children. Then we have the top of the range, optimum parenting. These have all the facets of the good enough parenting and a little bit more, by intentionally facing and clearing away any personal obstacles that get in the way, particularly if you had a not very good childhood yourself. These parents learn how to optimize their emotional availability and connection with their child by becoming consciously aware, having an inner observing and guiding self, a part that can reflect, learn and grow. It's about trusting yourself and your new instincts and opinions and creating an environment that nurtures a happy and balanced member of the next generation. Now, there are 3 big mistakes that many parents make. These are not healing their own emotional wounds, not taking care of their own needs emotionally, and not learning how to control their thoughts, their feelings, their language and their behaviour. This is all correctable. It can be changed. If you'd like my free booklet called Optimum Parenting, you can download it from my website, www.maxineharley.com, and there's a series of 8 or 9 follow-up emails after that with some extra information and tips too. On that website, you'll also find some information about my online courses, which will help you to sort your life out without therapy. And you can also find out how to speak with me in person via Skype or work with me one-to-one or in a group. Let's give the next generation the optimum parents they deserve.